Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 279 of the RRBG podcast. This episode is also brought to you by Killcliff. My friends over at Killcliff make the best energy drink you can buy in the market today. Clean energy, none of that crap that they put in Monster or any of those Red Bulls. No sugar, just clean power for all the grind you're going to have to put in today. And if you're not grinding today and you just want to relax, they also have CBD drinks to help you recover from any injuries you may have, any kind of inflammation. Maybe you went a little too hard at the gym. CBD drink will get you right back on track. Go to their website, killcliff.com. Check out all their different flavors. My personal favorite Ignite drink is the Cherry Limeade. And in the CBD category, you have to try the Joe Rogan Special. It's the Flaming Joe Pineapple with Jalapeno. It's not that spicy. You just get a little bit of a kick at the end. It's delicious. Go to killcliff.com and tell them that RRBG sent you. This episode is also brought to you by our good friends at Saints Joints. Go to saintsjoints.com to check out all the options that they have. They have these amazing packages with pre-roll joints, which will have pre-rolls from either side of the strain spectrum, either indica or sativa, and they even have multi-strain collections. Pick up one of their amazing Book of Saints. They currently have 2 volumes, volume 2 being a special Halloween edition. It looks like the Necronomicon. It's amazing. They're currently available in Washington and Oregon and will soon be available in California. Go to saintsjoints.com and tell them that RRBG sent you. This episode is also brought to you by our friends at Thunderking Coffee. Thunderking provides organic, air-roasted coffee straight out of Costa Mesa, California. It's seriously some of the best coffee I've ever had. My personal favorite is the Positive Morning Attitude. I order 2 pounds of this almost every 2 weeks because I just can't get enough. But they also have bottled cold brew. They have their special California Christmas peppermint cold brew out right now. You can order it from their website. So go to thunderkingcoffee.com and check it out. Support small, independent businesses, people. In this episode, it's the return of Cave In. We got Steve and Adam from Cave In joining us to talk about their new album, Heavy Pendulum, which comes out May 20th on Relapse Records. It's available now for pre-order. They have a bunch of beautiful vinyl variants that you could pick up. We talked a lot about their writing process for this album. We talked a lot about how Steve approaches writing new Cave In songs. We talked about vinyl collecting. We talked about pro wrestling for a little bit. It was a great conversation. I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure to follow them at cave_in_Boston. Click down there on the subscribe button for me, please, if you enjoy what you're watching. Click the little bell so you can get notifications. Otherwise, you'll never know when new episodes come out. And check out our Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/RRBG and support the podcast. Cheers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the RRBG podcast. I am being joined once again by Mr. Adam McGrath and Steve Brodsky from Cave In. How are you?
Hello.
Good to be here, Eddie.
Guys, first of all, how are you doing? I know it's been an exhaustive time with the new album dropping and everything, so how are you feeling? Adam?
This is, it's an exciting time for Cave In. Relapse is pumped and enthusiastic, and since we announced the record, people have been pretty stoked, and we're just enjoying it, like just kind of enjoying the whole process of working with them, making videos. Like, we haven't made music videos in over 15 years, so that part of our brains is a little dusty, but it's been fun getting back into that and just like thinking a little bit more visually with this band. So it's good.
It's a really positive time for Cave In, and it's sometimes I'm just like, I can't believe we're still doing it, and it feels really good. And we're, like Steve said, we're enjoying it. And we started this when we were like 15, 16 years old, and being in our 40s now, still like putting on new Cave In records and talking about Cave In, it's a trip. It's wild that we're still doing it, and it makes warms my heart. This is our lives' work, and I'm so happy we're still doing it.
No, to be fair, you guys look very young for 40. I mean, I'm 42, but 40 as well. Sorry, I keep saying that. I'm 42. No, I'm 40. But you guys look great. The video was awesome. I mean, it must have been a trip as well to just do a video with, at God City with everything. Was that done there, or was that just meant to seem that way?
It was done at God City. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt is kind of a star in his own right. We actually had written him into the treatment more than what we ended up with. But we just had a whole different thing, and it sort of mutated into what the video became. But it was super fun to make. The director is someone that myself, Adam, and JR go way back with. Like, even before any of us had ever played shows, we were going to see Mike Gilday's band, Bob's band, play. And so that was some of our earliest live music experience. And it was stuff that was happening right around here. So just a cool history there. And yeah, he worked on the show Lost. So, I mean, that's just one of many cool things that he's done. And we just knew that he would be more than capable. He got a great team together to make this video. And yeah, the more time we spend at God City, the better. It's just a very cool, creative place. And I think Adam had a good way of putting it. There was a lot of shit going on. It was one of the 2 days that we were shooting where a Mutoid Man record was being mixed, and there was vocals upstairs, or some production going on with Zach, the assistant there, and we had our music video going, and it was this Willy Wonka kind of thing happening.
And I imagine that's pretty much every day for Kurt out there. He's very sought after, abilities and studio and everything. He's sought after, I'm sure.
He's come such a long way. And, Steve and I recorded in Kurt's first recording setup, which was in his parents' garage, back when we were in high school, the Esterwood Rosin demo. And Kurt has come, light years since then.
Yeah.
I can't believe what he has put together. It's really quite the place, quite the creative place to go. And do I think Kurt will let us ever do a video there again? I don't think so. But I'm sure he'll let us record there again.
Nice. The album, so you guys record the album with him, right? The new album?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So it's called Heavy Pendulum. Artistically, I mean, the album cover is beautiful. It's, I forget the Beckett. Is that the Riley Beckett?
Richie Beckett.
Richie Beckett. Sorry, my brain. But yeah, beautiful artwork. You got a video. Is that kind of like the theme going in, with this cycle on this album, is just trying to do more visual? Are you guys going to do more videos?
Yeah, we have more videos planned. We're working on some as we speak. The record doesn't come out till May 20th, so we're in this little rollout period right now. And, like I said earlier, just kind of enjoying the process. And yeah, with the album cover art, it was this rare instance where we had a visual to work with before even writing any music together.
Wow.
Yeah, so originally that was a show poster for a couple St. Vitus shows that we had, which got postponed due to the pandemic. And the silver lining there was when we got the artwork, we were like, oh, this is too good to just be a show poster. This should be a record cover. And yeah, so it sort of was like moving forward, creating music. We had to just make sure everything sounded as epic as this thing looked.
Nice, man. I mean, it's got Saturn on it, and today is April 1st. I hate dating the episodes because I'm probably going to push this closer to the album release, but it's April 1st, and you guys got me. I looked at the Instagram, and you got me. I didn't really read the details. I just saw the vinyl with the splattery looking, it looked like space, and I'm like, oh, wow, perfect. I'm going to grab that one. And then it's a Ren and Stimpy video. Thanks.
It's funny, we literally just talked about it, let's do this 2 hours ago from when we were recording this now. Steve threw that together 2 hours ago.
Yeah, I didn't read the part that says contains actual Saturn ring particles. I just didn't. Yeah. I just immediately clicked. I'm like, it's going to sell out. Let me go buy it. But yeah, it worked. Good job. But you do have a lot of really cool looking variants there. I mean, Relapse does a great job with that. I know that there's, the vinyl pressing plants are a problem these days, but hopefully it gets pushed along quicker, you know?
I mean, Relapse is, they seem to know what they're doing. And, you know, Drew with the colors, I mean, I couldn't even believe what he's put together. It's really overwhelming. You know, it's every color scheme you can imagine.
Yeah, when we first got the email with all the different variants, I was just scrolling through the thing like, my head was spinning. But a lot of thought went into it, and everything just looked so beautiful. It was like, I don't care how many variants there are. They all look so great, but it also kind of played into the joke working, because I don't think anyone was surprised necessarily to see that we were trying to hustle some other variant, even though it was bullshit.
Yeah, I was like, today only. Wow, cool. So speaking of vinyl, I mean, I see you got a ton of them behind you, Adam, and I'm sure, Steve, you got a ton as well. What are your thoughts on the whole when vinyl gets to that secondary market price where, like, I can't get my hands on, you know, the new Turnstile album without paying $300? Like, do you like that? Is that something you guys, you know, enjoy when some of the Cave In albums are, you know, high priced and hard to get?
I mean, I'll just speak for myself. I mean, personally, I don't. I mean, I'm very much of like, I just want the music on a slab of vinyl. I don't care what it's worth. Mm-hmm. And jacking up the prices on limited vinyl now is insane. It's insane to me that Fleetwood Mac and Rumors is like $60. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Just these old guard records that are so expensive now, which, you know, in the early 2000s, late 90s, you can get them for like $2. You know, it's just, I can't believe the markup now. You know, I don't think pricing your fans out is helpful. I really don't. And I'm not a collector. It might look like I'm a collector, but I'm not. I just want to have the recording. I don't care what version I have, if that makes sense. You know? sound like an alcoholic. I don't have a problem. I'm not a collector. There's just 1,000 records. How about you, Steve? I mean, what are your thoughts? Because I know that it's a common thing. It's like the drop scene. Everything is a drop these days. Oh, we're dropping a new shirt, and it's like I don't have time to sit there at the exact time it drops and, you know, F5 to try and get it.
Oh, I hear you. It's fucking madness. But I think it's more of just a symptom of like the way things are headed with, you know, not as many people listen to records these days. So it's more of a niche thing, and, you know, that breeds collectors. So I don't know if there's really any way around it. I also lived in New York for 10 years. So like going record shopping, I was just used to seeing things at astronomical prices.
Yeah.
You know, not stopping there. I mean, like, it was like, well, you know, do I want this like rare Leo Kottke record or like a cup of coffee? You know?
Right. What's the most you've ever spent on a record, Adam?
You know, my $100 is my limit. It's between $50 and $100. I won't go any more than that. And those days are over for me. I try to avoid that stuff these days. But when I got into reggae records, collecting original reggae records, I got kind of deep and buying some expensive stuff and sitting on eBay with many screens hitting buy now, but, you know, like trying to win auctions. But those days are over for me. And also, again, all these records I was searching for have been all reissued now. So it's like, I'm not going to buy the $50 to $100 one now, you know?
Yeah. How about you, Steve? What's the most you've spent on a record?
The last like brand new record that I bought that was pretty expensive was probably MBV, the My Bloody Valentine, the last new record that they put out. And I just got sucked into the hype. I didn't care. I was like, great. This came out of nowhere. No one was expecting it. And here's my $62 or whatever it cost.
Jeez.
But it's a great record, so no regrets.
Yeah. No, I mean, as long as the record's good, the packaging's good, it doesn't matter what the price is. I mean, if it's new, you know, if you're going over the top and it's like a second, like I said, a Turnstile, like just the regular black vinyl that you could probably buy at the concert is like $100, you know, and I saw some that go up to $1,500 for some of the variants. I'm like, no, there's no album on the planet that's that good. Like,
now, yeah. I'm just curious. Like, I don't know anything. I've heard the Turnstile record, and I think it's great. Is it because maybe they didn't anticipate the hype of it? Could that be possible?
I guess. I mean, that's how it was for me. I had heard of them. I saw them live opening up for Every Time I Die a few years back, and I I just never followed up. And then the new album dropped. I listened to it. I'm like, oh, that's really good. I'll buy it on vinyl to support. And then I saw the price. I'm like, no, no, there's no way. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
But I think the most I ever spent was $200 on like the first pressing of the Fragile from Nine Inch Nails because I found it. Yeah.
It's a great record. I love that record.
Yeah.
Records, like how many LPs in that?
I think it's 3, 4, maybe. I think it might be 4. And then as soon as I bought it, I found it at Fingerprints in Long Beach. Look at that. There it is.
Oh, damn.
There it is.
4.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as I bought it, and like a month later, they announced the reissues, and I was like, God, there goes $200. But whatever, at least I have the first pressing. Who cares?
A similar thing happened to me with Neil Young's Dead Man soundtrack. I spent a lot of money for it, and then a year later, he put it out for $20, and I paid about $100 for it.
Oh, gosh, and now you could go listen to it on Spotify. Oh wait, you cannot. Yeah, man, it's that to me that I don't like that. I don't like the super over. I'll pay the band, $60 if it's a new thing and it's going to them. But if I got to buy it on eBay and give somebody $300 for an album, that's too much. But anyway, I'm babbling now about records. So tell me, I've always wanted to ask you this. You guys are from Boston, but you don't really have that typical Boston accent that people are used to hearing. Like the Mark Wahlberg, the Khakis, that kind of thing. Why do you think that is, that you guys just don't have that super thick Boston accent?
I mean, mine's buried underneath like 5 beers, like like it unlocks the accent, and it's like I never left Methuen.
I mean, I could turn it on and off if you want me to.
Really?
Don't even get me started.
Don't get me fucking started, dude. I can fucking turn it on. I don't fucking care. Doesn't matter to me. I don't give a care. We can just talk like this all fucking day, all right? I mean, sometimes my mom or my dad will call and I can't even understand what they're saying because it's like, hey, what are you saying, Mom?
Do you feel that it comes out more when you speak to them or with people like, close friends from that area that have the accent?
For sure. And I mean, also growing up here, it's funny to joke and talk like that. Cause if you're from here, you know what you're talking, you know what that dialect is.
Yeah.
I think it, went away because Boston itself is a very collegiate town. There's lots of colleges in this town, and there's lots of people from traveling here, and they spend a lot of time here who aren't from here specifically. So I think that's how it kind of came down a little bit from when we moved from Methuen. But like I said, I can turn it on and off at will.
All right. Let's talk a little bit more about the album, just for so the people that are watching and listening, if they didn't catch the interview that we did at Decibel Metal and Beer, you guys talked about it a little bit there. But just how did you go into the album writing procedure with just, was it all like old riffs that you had that you kind of unearthed, or was it something fresh for you where you just, let's get in a room with Nate and let's write new stuff? How was that for you?
The process was pretty fresh, and we were in an ideal situation for writing a record because we'd done a bunch of touring for Final Transmission to support that album, and then the pandemic hit. So we were sort of thinking like this might be a good opportunity anyways to get creative and try writing some new stuff with Nate. And I think the pandemic just added like a very crystallized level of focusing that has actually been lacking in Cave In for a little while as far as like writing. But with this record, it just all kind of clicked because nobody had anything on the calendars. There was nothing else to do. So it just really elevated the focus. And a lot of it was pretty fresh, pretty new. For me, especially, like, just not having anything else going on. I got to kind of like revert back to a very sort of like early state of mind when it came to just playing an instrument, without like playing to practice for a tour or, thinking about merch to make or like booking agents or whatever, like anything that goes along with touring. It was just, I'm just playing for the sheer enjoyment of it, the sheer like, you know, pleasure of writing and creating. And yeah, there are some like little bits here and there. Like there's a riff that Caleb wrote that we used in the song New Reality. And it's a riff that he brought in during the White Silence days, and we all jammed on it for like an hour together, and then nothing ever came of it after that. But I always remembered it. I always thought it was just this cool thing that we could do something with, and that seemed like the right song to kind of use it for.
New Reality that's the single. That's the one that's out now, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's cool, man. You know, how do you, so I would ask Adam this, but you know, you don't, Adam, you don't have that many, you know, you have some, but not as the number that Steve has, you know, in terms of side projects.
No, thanks. I watched Steven Jug's schedule. It looks miserable.
You want to trade?
But Steve, for you, like when you're going in to write a Cave In song, you know, how do you differentiate in your brain what a Cave In song is? Like what are you looking to add to the song? What are you looking to put into it to make it different from Mutoid or any of the many numerous projects?
Sometimes it's circumstantial. Like in the case of the new record, there's a song called Wavering Angel. And that song has existed in various versions since I wrote it several years ago. Like played it at a couple solo shows that I did. Tried it with Mutoid Man, and I think in the process of doing that, I discovered that this is a song that really needs two guitar players to like just to be the best version of itself. So that's something that's, you know, like I said, circumstantial, just like, two guitar players, Cave In, perfect, let's do it.
Okay.
And next thing you know, we've got a 12-minute long closing track for the record.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because I know Cave In's sound itself kind of varies through the years. You know, the earlier records are a lot heavier, then it gets a little more spacier, and then, you know, it kind of goes back and forth into that balance. But just, you know, I always find it curious, like wondering, like when you're writing something and, you know, what is it that you're looking for to say, all right, this is going to be for Cave In? Like, is there a specific tone or maybe like a feeling or a vibe that it gives you that you're like, yeah, this is it? Like, you know, I'm assuming with the Saturn on the cover, you know, you're thinking more spacey. Also in the video, you guys are wearing like astronaut things. So like, is that what you were looking at?
Yeah, I think there's some of that going on, but also, you know, like Adam said about scheduling, like it just sometimes happens to be whatever mode I'm in, whatever is like sort of the time for whatever project or band it is. Like I'm just sort of focused on that at any given time, right? So there could be stuff that was written for Mutoid Man that would have sounded great with Cave In, but like I was in sort of Mutoid Man mode and things sort of got funneled into working for that band the way that it does. And conversely, same with Cave In. But I'm always thinking of these guys too, like, you know, how JR might approach something rhythmically, and that will sort of, you know, it'll sort of provide like boundaries, because without, I guess, having like a sense of who might join in or who might be playing this or that, your imagination can almost work against you. But to have like people assigned to playing certain parts, whether it's like, all right, Wavering Angel, you know, Adam and I are going to be fucking dueling banjos in this one, like, you know, for 3 minutes, like closing this track, dueling solos, like awesome, great. It actually helps me to finish things.
Okay.
And I think that's just the most important thing. Like, how can I get this idea sort of off the ground, give it legs so that it just like has a life of its own. And yeah, just thinking about who might be best suited for shaping the sound of something really helps.
All right. And this is for both of you, actually. So when you're writing, are you a visual kind of guy where you put Post-it notes on a wall and you're putting like, oh, I got this chugga chugga riff here, and I got this meedly meedly over here, like, or is it all just in your head and you're playing the instrument and just hit record and let it out?
I think all the things you just said. I mean, each song is a different situation. For me, I know we talk about things like, oh, this is the I don't know, like this is the Pink Floyd part, and then we have to do the Hatebreed part into the Channel part, then that Converge break. Like, just we talk kind of like that sometimes.
Okay.
But you know, sometimes we do have to write things out to remember it when we're kind of like trying to see our way through a song and writing a song. Sometimes a song is completely formed before we even all get to it. It's like, there it is, and we just play it, and we just hash it out, and there it is. I mean, I think different circumstances for every song. I can't say that we have one format for how we write.
Okay. Is that, yeah? I mean, I guess, Steve, that's the same answer, right? Pretty much.
Oh, for sure. I love those situations when the language just gets so like insular and, you know, very specific, but we all just kind of pick up on it, and actually makes things go quicker that way. But yeah, I think one thing I really love about working on a piece of music and then presenting it to the group to work on together are the happy accidents that come out of that. So, you know, I might have an arrangement, and then once it gets into a room, somebody will do something that steers from the arrangement, you know, seemingly accidentally. But I always kind of listen for those things and take them as signs for maybe the direction we should be going. Like, oh, you wanted to go into the chorus there. Okay, actually, let's try that. Like, that might be the move. And oftentimes it is. So just sort of playing off of like natural instincts, like, you know, just kind of listening to hear what everyone's doing and sort of naturally gravitating towards. And that happened quite a bit in the making of this record. A lot of really cool instances where, like, you know, I'd have a part for a song and I'd be showing it to Adam, and his reflection back to me would have like little variances or nuances that were different than the way I was playing it. And I was like, actually, that's the move. Like, let's do that. Let's add a little chug there, or like, you know, use that note instead of the original note. And I find those moments to be very exciting. And that's really, I think, where the magic happens, as far as like taking a song in its like bedroom demo version state and turning it into like something magical and, you know, mighty with Cave In. Yeah, I agree with you, man. That's where the magic is. Like, to me, you know, it's convenient to just email each other files all day and go back and forth and whatever. It's convenient. That way you don't have to travel, but there's nothing like getting in a room and playing with each other there. And that sounded really weird. Phrasing. Getting in a room and playing music together just kind of changes the way you feel. And there's this weird layer of, you know, telepathic communication that goes on too, you know?
For sure. And I mean, I think also with this record was us like really finding our footing and playing and writing with Nate, which was awesome. And it was, you know, kind of like really getting into a groove of Nate being like a full-time member of Cave In, you know, what he brought, which was awesome. I mean, it's like he took what Caleb brought to the band and added like Tony Bono into another and his own flair. And it was really fun to, you know, kind of bring that into the fabric of our band and what we are now, you know, and it was a fun time for sure.
Yeah, and to his credit, you know, Nate kills it, has been killing it. I mean, I've seen you guys a couple times with Nate now, and, you know, he fills the role perfectly, and, you know, he doesn't try to overstep. You know, some people, if you bring someone in, they try to, like, add too much to, like, you know, stand out, and it's like he knows what to do and to respect, you know, the Caleb sound, but also just, you know, amp it up a little bit and just, you know, elevate it a little bit. I think it's great. So what do you guys do? I mean, I know you guys have become, how's the journey in becoming a TikTok sensations with your Kendamas going?
You know, I've met a lot of strange people by doing Kendama, but it's quite the community. It's quite the world that I've been exposed to. It comes in waves for me. You know, I haven't done it in a few days, but then I'll have like 3 days where I do it for like 6 hours all day long.
Oh.
As far as like making my videos, you know, I have a long way to go, and in June will be a year of Kendama for me. But honestly, if you're trying to find a cool skill to stay off your phone and kind of switch your mind out of reality and kind of do things that you never thought was possible. Like I'm doing things with the Kendama I never thought I would ever be able to do in my life. And that's the fun of it. And I recommend it. If you look, you know, Google Kendama, look up videos, you know, don't let the pros intimidate you. It's everyone's own journey, and I couldn't recommend it enough.
Nice. How about you, Steve? I mean, I know I feel that creative people need to use their brain at all times. Like, not just when you're creating, but also just on your off time. It's either a video game or a puzzle, or, you know, people do coloring books, whatever it is. So, like, what's your main thing to keep your brain kind of popping when you're not working?
Well, you know, Adam kind of turned me on to Kendama, and he's a great teacher. Taught me some real, you know, some of the basic tricks just to get started. And he made a good point. He said that Kendama's actually helped with his guitar playing, and I kind of found that with myself too. Yeah, because it's just another method of focusing your mind in order to get your body to do things with an instrument.
Right.
And so, yeah, once you sort of learn some of those skills with Kendama, they are applicable to, you know, your posture with guitar playing, or just your mind for setting yourself up to go into a part or to play something or a solo, or, you know, if it's something freeform, then you're just you can access a bit more of a calm state just to really do what you got to do without tripping over yourself. So yeah, I don't do it nearly as much as I should, but I'm very thankful for Adam being such a great Kendama teacher and getting me off my feet with it. So
nice. Yeah, I mean, you know, the hand-eye coordination, I'm sure, helps, you know, a lot, getting it together.
Not even just that. I mean, with Kendama, you can't be herky jerky with it. You can't be intense and flailing it around. You have to get in the zone where you're flowing. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the only way it works. You can't be herky jerky with it. You have to find like kind of a flow and a gentleness to it. And just learning that and staying in that zone is kind of what Steve was talking about. You can apply it to guitar playing. You can apply it to life. Just kind of keeping yourself in a zone where you're not flailing out, where things start getting crazy, you know?
Yeah. That's
I think for people who are very into exploring their minds, it's important to find a counterbalance with activities that pull you out of your mind a little bit and get you to use your body in ways that just aren't like, you know, like, which is so easy to do. It's so easy to pull out your phone and get lost in whatever social media app that is a time soak, and 45 minutes later, it's just like, that's all you've done. I mean, we all do it. So there's Kendama. I mean, for me, there's exercise, like just having some sort of exercise routine. Running is great for me. Like, I problem solve when I run. I don't take my phone out with me. Actually, that's time away from my phone.
Nice.
And I just think through things. Sometimes I'll think about music compositions or just ideas for, you know, doing cool projects with my bands. And yeah, I think you know, it's just, as an artist, it's important to have those balances between exploration of the mind and also some sort of, like, you know, keeping your body in check and staying in touch with all this.
Yeah. I think that's the big disconnect with a lot of people, that a lot of creatives that like to explore the mind, you know, they end up overdosing on, you know, sensory overloads, you know what I mean? Like, oh, let's watch all these videos, and like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, and then the drugs get involved too. I just said overdosing, but I mean like mushrooms or something like that. Like they try and like put so much into their brain that they forget that they have to also take care of their body. You know, I think that's the big disconnect.
We live in such a screen world. There's so much stimulation at all times. I mean, like you said, you have to find a way to reset yourself or kind of clear your mind, or kind of, kind of like a Buddhist meditation thing. We're all like these big muddy jars, like a jar of water with mud in it. It's all shooken up, and that's how we live life. We have to find a way to let the mud settle to the ground so the water's clear. And, Kendama helps with that. Exercise helps with that. Meditation helps with that. Treating yourself well, it helps with that,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I hear you. I mean, I tend to do yoga and meditation and stretches and stuff like that. That's, to me, is where I zone out. And then I play too many video games, as you can see, as well. Steve, has Adam gotten you into pro wrestling?
Well, I've always enjoyed pro wrestling, either like if it's something that like I'm really focusing on, or just remembering great matches from like the golden days that I watched as a kid. Lately, it takes like an event like AEW or something, pay-per-view, and then Jordan sort of inviting me on his Twitch stream with Colin and Adam to just talk shop about wrestling, and then I'm very thankful for those opportunities, because like there's really some great shit happening out there right now, especially in AEW. And years ago, like Adam and I with like just various people in our little community, like we went and saw fucking ECW matches at like, these function halls, and, the tickets were like $5, and, it was like some of the bloodiest, wild, fucking crazy shit. We were just seeing legends in the making.
Yeah.
It was so cool. So yeah, like my appreciation for wrestling is like, it kind of wavers, but anytime I step in front of a microphone, I try to think about like, all the great promo spots that I've seen.
Think about Ultimate Warrior or Macho Man. Those dudes were on another level. They were talking about outer space and
I mean, the Ultimate Maniacs promos is some of the best stuff you could ever go back to. I mean, that stuff is like cocaine madness. I mean, my God.
Yeah. Well, it's Mania weekend. I mean, WrestleMania itself is kind of not that interesting, but it's still a big event, and everybody else gets to do their events around it. So that's why I brought it up, because I mean, it's all I've been thinking about this week is like, what am I going to do? I'm going to New York today, actually, at 10 o'clock at night, and I'm going to be there all weekend. So I have to figure out where I'm going to watch WrestleMania in New York.
I believe there's a theater that's showing it. I was talking to Steve's partner last night, and she has a ticket to WrestleMania at a theater in Brooklyn, I believe.
What? That's cool.
Yeah. So you can probably buy a ticket and watch it somewhere.
Interesting. Okay.
I'll find out for you and let you know.
Yeah, let me know. Adam, what are you excited most about in terms of that with, pro wrestling, and you like AEW and everything? I mean, are you even keeping up with whatever WWE is doing, or is it just AEW for you?
No, I mean, I watched WWE, but it's been pretty rough. As far as WrestleMania goes, I'll watch to see what Stone Cold's going to do.
Right.
And the Edge and AJ Styles match, I think, will be good. But everything else is it's pretty rough.
Yeah, it's not great.
Roman and Brock. I like Brock. He just wrecks people,
Yeah.
But think of the AEW pay-per-view that happened 2 weeks ago. It was a masterpiece. The dog collar match, that Daniel Bryan match. Those are amazing matches.
Sting at age 63 jumping off of a balcony.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a better roster and such a more fun show. But I actually was, I actually stopped last night at a hotel because I'm not feeling well. So the wife and I stopped on the way home from New York, and I watched New Japan, which was on the hotel TV, and I have no perspective of it. But awesome. I need to get more into that, because it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
And then I watched the whole Impact after that, which I've kind of in and out of Impact, but I'm curious. You know what I mean? But AEW is certainly my favorite. I mean, I think Daniel Bryan is the dude to watch right now. I mean, if you're watching masterpieces every time that dude's in the ring, it's insane. And I just feel lucky, appreciating this stuff as it's happening in front of me. And, I'm so happy I got back into it. I hadn't watched wrestling for years. 2018 was a really rough year in our lives, and I was kind of looking for joy at that period of time. And I found it again in wrestling, and I'm so happy I did, I mean, there's lots of there's lots of hit or misses, but the good wrestling makes you come back, it really does.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, and my issue is I watch it so much that I want to do it myself. And it's like, I don't know if I want to get hurt. I'm 40 now, so.
I thought about that too. I feel like I missed my calling. I'm little, but I'm like, God, did I miss my calling somewhere?
You could have been like a Jim Cornette, with a manager. Well, we're running out of time, unfortunately, the stupid Zoom thing, but I wanted to thank you guys again for sitting with me. I mean, I love talking to you guys. I feel like I could talk to you for hours, but I know you got press cycles and everything. But everyone that's watching and listening, please pick up Heavy Pendulum on Relapse Records. Comes out, what is it, May 20th, right? Mm-hmm. Is the single that's out with the video, is that any indication as to what people can look forward to with the rest of the album as well? Is it going to be kind of all over the place as well as like all the other albums?
I think if you know Cave In's catalog, I think it has something from every Cave In record. I really do. I think it's like a really good representation of everything we've ever done.
Yeah, I mean, New Reality is an obvious track one. It was always that way since we wrote it. But this new record is sort of like the best of our 25-year existence of a band just kind of smashed into a double record. Beautiful.
Beautiful. I'm excited to hear the rest of it. Thanks again. Like I said, for everybody that's watching, please follow at cave_in_Boston, right? On all the things.
Something like that.
Something like that.
You can find us. We're out there.
Yeah, just, when you Google, put Cave In and then put band. Otherwise, you're going to get a bunch of articles about caves collapsing. But yeah, thanks again, guys. I hope you have a good rest of your day. And touring. You guys are on tour? Or going on tour soon?
Currently making plans. All
right, cool. We'll keep an eye for tour dates as well. I hope to see you guys out here in LA soon again. So,
thanks, Eddie.
Take care, guys. Enjoy WrestleMania.
All right, you too.
Later.